What's up, guys? It's Lord Saint, and today we're going to talk about Anthurium seedlings. Mostly, what to do when you get your first, second, or third Anthurium seedling. We're going to share some care tips. Now, I do want to make one thing clear. I am not a botanist. I never claimed to be. I'm a plant enthusiast. So please, if there's anything you agree with or disagree with, just let us know down below, but share your knowledge in a polite way so that everybody can gain or grow from what you have to share. Like I said, this isn't the all-being. This is just what works for me in my plant journey thus far in collecting Anthurium, specifically Anthurium seedlings. So, without further ado, let's get started. All right, so you get your Anthurium, or you order your Anthurium seedling, or you pick it up from somewhere, you're gifted an Anthurium seedling. You're trying to figure out, all right, I take it home, and what do I do with it? What is the idea climate? How do I replicate a climate that this Anthurium seedling will enjoy? And what I've learned so far is to find a home for it. Now, whether that be outdoors, if you live somewhere subtropical. I live in Florida, so I can grow Anthurium seedling outdoor. The heat may prevent me from doing so, as I've learned thus far. But if you're going to grow indoors, you can use anything like an IKEA greenhouse cabinet. You can use a bin. You can use a terrarium style. Now, we'll discuss the airflow aspect of those things, but you can use anything where you can almost control the humidity, the light, and things of that nature. If not outdoors, just make sure it's subtropical. You get it in a spot where it will get some good lighting and other aspects of things that it may need. Now, if you are going to grow it indoors, it's as simple as buying something like this. You don't have to go get anything ridiculously expensive. Yes, you're looking at it. What's Saint? Where did you get that fabulous bin? Oh my gosh, just look how clear it is. Ooh. Can you imagine? It clicks when you open it. Seriously, this is just I think a $3 bin. You can get bins from the dollar store. You can get bins from anywhere. I prefer a clear top, being as I do need light to hit the top of this. I do need the seedlings to get light. So you can get something clear like this. And you can throw anything on the inside. You can throw leca, you can throw stones, you can throw moss if you'd like. Now, leca or stone would probably be a cleaner finish for you, as there probably will be a bit of moisture and water collected at the bottom. So if you do moss, just be prepared over time. As you put your seedling on top of said moss, the moss will start to grow. But it's not bad if you want to re-alive or make alive moss. It's not a bad thing. But regardless of what you put at the bottom, this is to lock in some moisture. And you can see I made some holes to the top of this just for airflow. Now, you don't want stagnant air just sitting in this. Now, in my prop boxes, which technically this could be labeled as, I don't have any holes in the top. But that's just to stimulate some root growth in a high humidity climate. But as soon as the plants, I start to see some signs of growth, I start making these holes, and then that lets a little airflow in, so the air inside of the bin isn't stagnant. So I have successfully grown or kept alive and nurtured Anthurium seedling in something just like this. The next option that I use personally is my IKEA greenhouses. I have a Rudsta. I have a few Millsbow IKEA greenhouse. Now, if you follow my page, you know that I made the Rudsta and Millsbow tall IKEA greenhouses mainly for Anthurium. And in those, the humidity dances anywhere from 65 to, let's say, 90 at times, depending. If it's a watering day, it'll dance around 90, and towards the lower end, the 65 is when I kind of know that, all right, maybe everything needs to be watered again. But that's an easy way to recreate the humidity or maintain humidity. Now, we'll go straight into the light, right? Because you can't just do it with its new home if the new home is in the closet or in the bathroom or under the kitchen sink or anywhere dark. That's not really going to be beneficial and the plant is going to die, right? So we want to give it light. Now, in the Millsville cabinet, you know that I use Barina T5s. In the Rutsta cabinet, I used some older lights that I had in the beginning of my plant journey, some light strips. They were nothing special. They were just like I think they were like some Samsung light strips. They have, and I'm looking at them now, I'll show you guys. They have white, red, and blue lights or LEDs on them. And I pretty much have 2 per shelf, and that is what shines on to the seedlings. I think they love the Barina T5s. This time I'm going to make another Rutsta cabinet. I'm waiting on some parts to come in from IKEA, but I'm going to use something similar to the Barina T5s. It's probably the same exact light, just different brand, quite honestly. But they seem to enjoy the Barina T5s, 2 of them at 2 or 1 of them at close range within a foot. They love it. They explode with growth. My most successful seedlings are the ones that I grow in my Millsville cabinet with the light. And I'll show you guys that as well, where the light is about this far. You can call this 10 inches from the plants. They love it. Now, you don't want to do anything too powerful that may burn the seedlings. They are sensitive, right? They are tiny little anthuriums. But Barina T5s do great. Now, you don't need to get Barina T5s, especially if you have something like this. If you have an enclosed patio where you get just some high filtered light that comes in. If you have an outdoor shade house where, you have 73% shade fabric, anything like that, you get the gist of what I'm trying to say here. Filtered light or any light bar, artificial light setup that you may have that this can sit under, it's going to do great things for it. They will thoroughly enjoy it. So that taps right into our humidity, right? You need the humidity to be high, to be high, just like we mentioned with the IKEA greenhouses and even in this bin. The higher the humidity, you don't want just completely wet atmosphere, but high humidity is good. The plants enjoy the high humidity. They love it, and it helps with a lot of things, especially when the leaves on Anthurium or foliage on Anthurium grow the way they do. It's just not like they come out and it's this tiny little leaf and that's it. No, these things the glow up on them is just, I think, one of the most amazing things about them. It's probably one of the things I love the most. You get this tiny little leaf and then it just expands and expands and then you get this giant thing and you're like, how did this happen? Popeye? What kind of spinach are you consuming? But you want to make sure you have good humidity. Remember, like I said, I grow mine in 65 to 90 in a good way. It's a prop box or some type of cabinet, terrarium, or you can get, some type of bin like I have and just poke a few holes in the top and that'll be great. Now, airflow, if you do have a cabinet, that was the reason that we poked the holes in the bins. But if you do have a cabinet, just make sure you have fans circulating air on the inside. I don't think you can have too many or too much airflow. I think more is better than too little because the air gets stagnant and things aren't getting air the way they should. And then you start introducing the possibility for root rot and disease and all that crazy stuff. So make sure you're putting fans. If you are using some type of cabinet, you're using fans. If not, poke some holes in whatever type of bin that you're using. If it's outdoors, then you really don't have to worry, right? There's air everywhere and it's flowing. So outdoors isn't an issue if you're growing your seedlings outdoors. Now, fertilizer. I fertilize with every watering. Yes, you heard that correct. I fertilize with every watering. And what I tend to use, I try to use something not obviously crazy in strength. They are seedlings. The roots are sensitive. I don't want to burn the roots or anything. But I take this Dyna-Grow liquid plant food, and I will try to come in on that for you guys. And I add a small portion of this, so about a gallon of water. I think it says on the back 1 teaspoon per gallon of water is all you need. And I water them with that. I use kelp. I use liquid dirt, things like that. And every watering, like they need right now, I will be watering them as soon as I'm done with this video. But I will be using one of these fertilizers on the plants to give them some nutrients. It works for me. Like I said, that these plants just do crazy things. If I know it works because I took maybe 4 or 5 of my Mag Regal Cross and I grew them specifically on this tray in my Millsbo cabinet, and they are all maybe quadruple the size of the ones that were either outside or growing in a different place. So they absolutely, these seedlings absolutely love cabinets. It doesn't need to be IKEA, it could be any cabinet, but they love cabinets. So mental note, if you have a cabinet or like the prop box I showed you, they will love it. They absolutely love it. There are different mediums that everybody grows their seedlings in. I like to start small, about a 3-ounce container. I buy the little cups right off Amazon, and I use a peat perlite mix. And that's it. It's peat and perlite. I throw peat and perlite in there with it, and like I said, I don't allow it to dry out, because if you allow it to dry out, those roots are going to be crisp. They're already tiny, but you're going to crisp those roots, and you have a large risk, or there's a large probability that the roots will die. So make sure that every 3 days or so, I'm checking on these to make sure that they've retained moisture in that type of mix. Now I've seen people use all types of stuff. And you can list that below if you're using something else. A lot of people use moss, and for the longest I was using moss and perlite. I just recently switched to perlite and cocoa peat. Both of them work great. I actually start all of my Anthurium seedlings from seed in moss, and then when I get about 2 to 3 leaves, mainly 3 leaves, I move it over to the cocoa peat and perlite mix. I think that touched everything just to get you started. That's how I start everything. Like I said, I'm keeping them alive. They seem to be happy. They're doing well. I have several that I've had from seed that are now starting to, I feel like they're getting into the teenager category, or the preteen category. Let's call it preteen category. And everything's great with them so far. So now that you have that information, go out and get you some seedlings. Don't be afraid to try. If you do want to try, I know they tend to be expensive. Just find someone that's selling some low priced seedlings. I know I'm still selling the Mag Regal seedlings, and they're $15 a pop while they're this size, while they're in the 3-ounce or less containers that I have them in. And that's an easy $15. If you do try to get duplicates, try to get 2 just so you can test out maybe different growing situations that you have in your house. But find someone that maybe gifts you some seeds or seeds that are low price and practice. That's the best way to do it. I think I got my hands on a few that were relatively low price, and that's how I got started. And I just figured it out on the way. Again, they like to be moist, not wet. Do not drown these seedlings. They will die very fast. But if you use those tips, I'm confident your seedlings will be thanking you in the long run. And you may thank me, possibly. But like I said, if you have a different method, or you use different medium or grow climate, let us know down below. I'm eager to learn. I'm eager to acquire more knowledge. And I know there's someone out there, or a lot of people out there rather, that are using different means to grow their Anthurium seedlings. I want to know. Everybody wants to know what you're doing. So please drop that down below. Let us know so we can grow and share these tips. That's what this plant community is about. Don't hog all the good info. So, like I said, tips for growing Anthurium seedlings. Hopefully this helps you get over the stump, the speed bump, the roadblock, in that you've been avoiding purchasing Anthurium seedlings because you're afraid. Just get them. Get them. Like I said, just find something that's decently priced and start with that. And you will thank yourself. I promise. I'm getting better with these videos. I'm figuring out. I hope you like my mic setup. I'm back in the office today, but I got a new microphone. I'm doing things with the camera. We're getting more proficient and more, what's the word I'm looking for? Consistent. We're getting more consistent with posting these videos, and I'm constantly thinking of what I can share that maybe the me 2 or 3 years ago would have really wanted to hear, right? That's why I started this channel, to share the basic information that I didn't have when I started and that I kind of had to figure out. So if you like the channel thus far, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, engage. Again, I'm Lord Saint. I'm happy to be engaging with you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Go get you an Anthurium seedling. Tag me in it, whatever platform you're on. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is. Let me know. Show it to me. I'd love to see it. Well, let's grow together. Have a good night.